Hello and welcome to our lessons on vectors and bearings. In our previous lessons, we did look at vectors, but now we want to pay much attention to bearings. And our objective at the end of this lesson is to be able to solve distance bearing problems, right? So we say a bearing is used to represent the direction of one point relative to another point. Bearings give direction in terms of an angle. We have to please pay attention to this. A bearing gives direction in terms of an angle. A bearing is used to measure a clockwise direction from. A bearing is measured in a clockwise direction from north, right? In our everyday life, we do usually give directions, right? The drivers, if you are driving, you have to drive according to a particular direction. If you are riding a motorbike, you do that the same thing. Pilots, captains of ship, they all use what? Directions, right? So supposing a person is at, say, town A, right? So we are at town A. Someone is at this point, which is our town A. There is a 3 here, right? So let's say we have a 3. We have a 3 here. And then town B is found here. Right. Now, if a person is at town A and asks for directions, right, and the person doesn't really know town B, if the person is at town A and want to move to town B, and there's a 3 here, you probably would tell the person that, okay, walk straight. Tell the person walk straight to town, to the 3, and you tell the person to probably turn left. The person turn left and walk straight to the town B, right? The person will straight away walk straight to the 3 and then go straight to town B, right? But you have given the person direction and you are good, because when the person walks straight to the 3 and then turn left, the person is just going to go straight to town B. But in terms of bearing, you are going to use the cardinal points. The 4 cardinal points we learned from our basic school, right? We have the north, we have the south, we have the east, and then we have west, right? So if the person is here, in terms of bearing, you are going to give the direction in terms of an angle. It says what? Bearing give direction in terms of an angle. With bearing, you are not just going to say, oh, go walk straight to the 3 and turn left. With bearing, you are going to give the direction with reference to a particular angle, right? So, if the person is found, normally you give the direction with reference to the geographical north. And it says a bearing is measured in a clockwise direction, meaning you always make reference to the geographical north and turn clockwise. You go around, right? So if someone is at, this is our point, we'll make reference to the geographical north, so meaning the person is here and want to go to the town, because this is where the person is, so I want to go to town B. You'll probably tell the person, remember, from this, we have a right angle here. So the whole of this first quadrant, I'm talking of this quadrant, is 90 degrees, right? If the person turn all the way to E, this part is 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees, right? So if I want to give direction in terms of an angle, if we want to give direction in terms of an angle, then we'll probably tell the person, because the angle is going to fall, between this quadrant, then it should be less than 90 degrees, right? So we'll probably tell the person that, okay, maybe 10 up to this level. And then we're going to call this particular angle. We're just assuming that this angle might be, say, 70 degrees, right? So we tell the person 10 70 degrees and walk straight, right? 10 70 degrees and walk straight. So if the person turns 70 degrees and walks straight, he's going to get to what? The same town B. So giving direction with reference to an angle is basically what is called bearings. If you give direction with reference to an angle, then it's called bearing. Now, so in bearing, we're going to say this particular angle that we assume, which is 70 degrees, is the bearing of town B from town A. The bearing of town B from town A. Always, the position that comes after the word from is your beginning point or where you start from. So it says town B, the bearing of town B from town A. So the town A is our starting point. So we're going to say the bearing of town B from town A is 70 degrees. So basically that's just what bearing means. And let's move on to what, so bearings can be written in two forms. Bearings can be written in compass bearing, as a compass bearing, and then, or a three-figure bearing, right? So in our next lesson, we're going to look at how to write a bearing in a compass bearing, how to even represent them, and the three-figure bearing, to how to even write them and how to represent them on a graph. Thank you for taking your time to watch this lesson. So at the end of the day, we know that, okay, we've now looked at what the meaning of bearing and what really it means on a diagram. And we've looked at how to represent bearings in two different forms. So in our next lesson, we're going to dive details into the compass bearing and then the three-figure bearing. See you in the next lesson. Thank you.